the way, I think I figured out who's that picture was.
Well,
it was the old Jaehaerys, like
this one?
the king, the king before Viserys and before
The conciliator?
Baelon.
Conciliator?
Yeah, exactly.
What does that even mean? I'm not even familiar with that word. Conciliator?
Conciliator means...
You're saying it wrong.
I guess it means that it was making everyone get along.
I've never heard that. I've heard so many... Yeah, right. I've heard so many epithets like King Edward the Confessor. Because he was religious, they called him King Edward the Confessor. You know?
But, I didn't know that.
Or King Ethelred the Unread, because he was unready. That's Old English.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, they stole it from England! You guys just steal it from history!
I mean, that's the kind of the point of this whole saga. Like, it's kind of known that it's
even Merlin was said to have unleashed 2 dragons that were trapped in a mountain in Wales. Like, there's a whole story about that. So there were even dragons in the story.
You're gonna have to tell me about that. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, that's really fun. No one's really done a good job with the Merlin King Arthur stuff, but yeah, we'll have to go through that. And that's an actual rock in Wales. It's a real place.
Wow, I love that though.
The one place I want to definitely visit is like England and Ireland, just for those really old megalithic things, you know. Italy too, like the Etruscan tombs in Italy. I always wanted to see that stuff. And there's also a lot of Mithraeums all over Europe. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Mithraeums. I think in Italy.
I did.
You did?
I did study them. Yeah.
Did you?
Ooh,
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because that's kind of an obscure thing, I thought.
It is, but the point is that it was part of the Roman Empire.
Yes.
And we did study that the Roman Empire is not necessarily just Catholic or just pagan. But
right.
There are several. It was a multicultural. Cosmopolitan place.
Did you guys talk about the actual cult of Mithras?
We didn't go in depth into it.
Okay.
But I do remember it had something to do with a bull, maybe?
Yeah, because I strongly believe that it's the precursor of Christianity. But from a more astrological point of view, because obviously it's pre-Christian.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, but we'll talk about it another time. Anyway, there's Jaehaerys the Conciliator.
The Conciliator.
That should be your title in your house, in your family. You are the Conciliator.
Yeah, I mean I don't know why Martin went with Conciliator when there's such a better word, aka mediator. I guess he wanted to sound cooler. I don't know.
Like more regal. We'll have to go through all the titles of the old English kings later, because like they all had titles like that, and they're pretty funny. William the Conqueror. See, like Aegon. In England, it was William.
It's always a fucking William.
William. Yeah, there's like a shit ton of Williams after the first William. Yep. And then we have Henry and Harry and Henry are the same thing, I think. Henry.
Yeah.
But before that, it was more interesting because there were also Danish kings in England, believe it or not, Norwegian, Scandinavian kings. It was very brief. It was very brief.
Found out that there's a theory that Larys is some kind of shapeshifter or some kind of three-eyed raven figure that can put its conscious into the rats, and that's why he's a master of spies.
I forgot about that.
Because, I I don't know if it's true or not. I think it's just a theory, but they say that that's why he is a master of spies and knows so much about so many things.
Right. You had a good. What you said last time, really quick. I liked it because I thought it was right. What you said. Why did Alicent not like be like, oh yeah, you're right. It's must have been a misunderstanding, and let's fix this. Why is she all in
Because
now with her with the high towers, her well, her side.
because well, number one, it's her family, but number two, she has no grasp on the king or her sons or the council. Like, and I've seen this reflection from other people as well, but I think that Alicent, and I know you're gonna hate it if I put it this way, but bear with me. Alicent is part of the patriarchy in the show, in the sense that the people on her council don't want Rhaenyra because she's a girl. Okay?
Right.
And they refuse to accept that that's the heir to the throne because she's a girl. Plus other reasons. But Alicent has always put herself and her kids first because she wanted her kids to go forward. But indirectly, she became part of the reason why she herself as a woman doesn't have power in the council. Okay? Because she is giving all the power to the men around her. And she didn't realize it, I think, because she was just trying to forward her legacy and her kids and put them on the throne. But in the end, she kind of hit herself in the foot, like kind of.
Okay. So
It was counterproductive to her having any kind of say in what goes on in this war. And once Rhaenyra came to meet with her and they talked about it, and she realized she was in the wrong because that look she had, she definitely understood that it was a mistake. But she simply doesn't have the power to fix it, and nobody around her to confess this to and like try to work things out. Like, she has nobody on her side, and the only people she does have on her side, quote unquote, are Kristen, what's his face Cole,
yeah.
disgusting ass bitch, and Laris. And it's all because she did sexual favors for the both of them.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
so, like, she's kind of in the worst place ever that she could be. She definitely did use her feminine powers, if we want to call it that, to her advantage, but she did not have the foresight to understand where it was going to lead her as a person and not just as the queen dowager with kids that wants kids on the throne. Okay, I compare it a lot to Cersei, because Cersei also wanted the best for her kids and had bastard sons and wanted them on the throne and wanted them to live and be the actual royals of this world. But at least she, even though she was kind of the more stupid Lannister, she at least had some kind of foresight. She at least was working for her kids to have power, but also for herself to still be relevant in court. And Alicent is definitely not doing that. Like, she was so convinced that she needed to forward her legacy. She was so indoctrinated, I guess, into doing things for the family that she forgot her place at court.
My question is, at that moment when she realizes she's wrong, but she rejects Rhaenyra, what is going on with Alicent on her side? What is her She knows she's wrong, but she won't accept it because
It's too late. Like, it's simply too late because with that information in her hand, what is she gonna do?
right,
Like,
and that's
yes, she's
right,
still
right, and that
part of the small council, but nobody's gonna listen to her.
and that's kind of
They're already flying dragons.
and that's kind of what she's telling Rhaenyra, right? She's like, I sent you that raven with the message like a long time ago when we
Exactly.
could have done something about it. So she's kind of throwing it back on Rhaenyra legitimately in the sense of like there was a chance for us to talk and you didn't take it and now it's gone too far.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Okay.
I
All
reached
right.
out and you ignored me.
Right.
So it's on
Okay.
you now.
Okay. Okay.
And I have to agree with that, honestly. I know she has done a bunch of stupid shit, Alicent, I mean. But this one, I know Rhaenyra was like grieving and stuff. I get it. But
Yeah,
you can't shut down like
the
that.
opportunity was missed. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I wanted to understand because I feel like you you have a better insight into Alicent.
I found out why Harnell is cursed.
Oh.
Um, Remember that I told you that in the South there were used to be werewood trees, the trees with a face that
Yes.
like bleed.
Yes.
Um, and I told you like the cult of the seven happened, which is the religion that's now more prominent in the South, and they ended up cutting the trees.
Yes.
Um, Apparently, it started because of a guy that's literally called Harrenhal. It's just spelled differently, but it's the guy that used to own this castle. And he ended up being the one chopping down the trees in there and starting this whole thing.
Oh.
And the old gods were really pissed about it, and so cursed the castle.
Oh. That's pretty interesting actually and really weird at the same time. Um
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because it's literally you're kind of proving that the old gods still have grasp onto reality and that they're kind of actually real
yeah, well
because they're
it kind of goes with the whole like demonic energy thing really where
yeah
demons are really a thing. Maybe they were called the old gods in the old days and they do have influence in the real world. Um
yeah
Even though the cult of the seven is kind of also another pagan type of thing, but I think it's trying to be because I know by the time when we get to Game of Thrones, there's another religion, right? The one of the fire or something. I don't remember. They
yes
never
yes
really
that's an
elaborated on
actual
that, but it felt like it was trying to be Christian, but not the light, the light of the fire or something.
yeah no the Lightbringer, yeah, the cult of Melisandre.
It was weird how
uh
they did that.
yeah, I think that was actually representative. I don't know if it maybe had some Christian influences, but I think that was mostly representative of like cults in general
I'm
because it
really
was very violent for a cult. But yeah.
I don't know. I always felt that they were trying to make it sound Christian, but obviously not at the same time because there was also the whole thing of isn't that witch the one that resurrected Jon Snow because he dies and comes back to life,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
obviously a Jesus thing. So it's very interesting. So and I really wonder where he drew it from because obviously it comes from ancient religions, but it seems like he's suggesting in this world that there was an ancient pagan religion called the Old Gods that was replaced by another pagan religion that's trying to be more organized. Um, that then is getting replaced by this kind of Christian but violent uh, religion. So it's suggesting something that we don't even think about. That it's there's actually different levels even to the so-called pagan. Like nowadays, we throw it all as one thing, like it's all pagan. But no, there must have been a more ancient one that got replaced by a more organized one that then got eventually replaced by Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And
True.
that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find that insinuation very interesting and true. So that we
Yeah,
have
it's very
so that
fascinating.
we have different levels of religions, all of which have some level of truth and connection to what's really uh, affecting the world, but yet it's getting lost or diminished, and you know what I mean. So like that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. Like you said, this hall is still cursed. Those gods are technically, except I think in the north,
Still there.
right? Nobody really follows the old
Yeah,
gods
cause
anymore, and yet this curse
no,
is a real
no,
thing, right? The north still does, but the
it's
rest of the
yes.
south and stuff don't. Yet they're having a palpable presence and effect on this Heron Hall and and curse in its curse of this keep or whatever fortress, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
That's fast. I find
exactly.
that kind of stuff fascinating, interesting, and true.
Yeah, I thought you would. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why I told you now,
Yeah.
because
Thanks.
it makes sense for a lot of the dreams that Damon is having, and like kind of explaining why
Right.
he's having that kind of
Right.
experience. But it's also fascinating in a larger standpoint, like you said.
And then there's also, which I don't know if they'll bring it here. They probably won't. But in Game of Thrones with Arya Stark, it was interesting with the cult of the dead, whatever that guy was. Remember the faceless guy?
Ah, yes, the faceless man. Yeah,
Yeah, that was interesting too. That's
yeah, that was.
that's a other thing, like a whole other fucking culture,
Mhm. I think
religious.
they're present even now, by the way,
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Aren't they in Bravos?
because
They're based in Bravos, though. I think.
yeah, yeah, but there's also a actual faceless island. I don't know exactly where it's located, but I think it started there, and then
Yeah.
it moved to Essos rather than Westeros. It's not that common. We're commonly known
Yeah.
in Westeros.
That was
So,
fascinating. That was so.
mhm.
Let's see if they weave in more of that stuff.
How fares your grandsire?
Sadly, he remains incapacitated.
This is how you know that I don't know who the actor is. I forgot. I don't know his name. But the actor that plays Damon,
uh,
this guy that used to be what Doctor Who at one point. This guy,
yeah,
you know he's a British actor because he's all about nuances. You notice the nuances he does with just looking. It's
yeah.
like that is superb. That's like chef's kiss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he delivers his lines, and even when they're not supposed to be funny, they're very funny.
Yes. And I know
And
that,
I
and
think that's also a very British thing. Like, it's just the delivery of certain lines. It's so funny.
but it's the delivery and the looks and the gestures.
Yeah.
And there's something I just realized about the white hair with the Targaryens that you're not gonna appreciate this, and why I like the white hair. I just suddenly
Okay.
remembered, like in the 70s, there were a lot of kung fu movies. Like people watched kung fu movies time. They were coming out left and right,
Okay.
and there were always
Okay.
the wise man that taught you how to fight in the kung fu movies, like the guy that was the master of kung fu that taught the guy that came in. This was like when Jet Li was like young, like just starting out. He always had white hair and like long white mustache that like went down to
Oh
his.
my god.
Yes, I gotta find it for you. I'm gonna look it because that's such a staple of kung fu, and I just realized that Damon's hair looks exactly like the kung fu masters of the 70s, and that's why I love it so much because it just reminds me of that. They were so much fun.
Oh, that's so
Those
cool.
movies were so campy but so well done. Like they would do well, they would fly in the air and fight in the air kung fu style and all that. But it was always like drama. Like they would always all end up dead, or the hero would save the day, but he would always also be like mortally wounded and die. Like they were so, and the blood was always so,
Damn.
yeah, and the blood was always so cheap. But I grew up with everybody in the 70s. We grew up with those, and even in the 80s and 90s, my dad they would play reruns and stuff, and that's how I got into them. But my dad used to have a whole collection of them, like on VHS tape back in the day. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
I just
I love that.
Yeah, I gotta show it to you. I just made the connection now, looking at his hair. I'm like, that's what it is. He looks like a kung fu master of the '70s. That's why I like it. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the hairstyle, right? Because it's
Yes.
got it pulled back.
He's only missing the mustache. They would also have like a mustache
Yeah.
that would be like long and go down to their feet. I don't know about I don't know about beard. I don't think they always they would have a beard too that would go like long, and it was like
Yeah, that little pointy beard. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yes.
I love that.
Perhaps you might place a feather pillow over his head and speed along your inheritance.
Oh my God.
For once, I agree with Damon. That's weird.
The suggestion is a bit rough. I mean, I would just be like, yeah, I'm here to speak for him because obviously he's incapacitated. But okay.
House Bracken that declared green, Your Grace.
Who could remember?
I love it. He says that's the British style. Like they say so much with a few words. They know how to imbue words with meaning. I love it. It's a Shakespearean thing.
Yeah.
It's Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so true though. It's like in 2 words he said, I don't care who those two are. I can't tell them apart at all. Just tell me which one I have to deal with.
It's like when you go to the government to do something and you're like, I just want to get my passport or something, and they're like, yeah, but we have to do this step and then that step and this step, and I don't have time for step 1, 2, and 3. I need it now. Literally, like I'm going to leave tomorrow to go to another country and I need it now. I don't care about your stupid step 1, 2, and 3.
And also, by the way, I would like to remind everybody in the audience how 2 times Christian Cole fucked queens, and 2 times they decided to definitely not have his kid once they fell pregnant by mistake.
Right?
So,
wow.
Yeah, like that just says so much.
She believes.
You should have burned them when you had the chance.
Perhaps you can, Sir Alfred, when you next sight them on your dragon.
Oh, snap! What you gonna say? What you gonna say now? You know, these guys have a lot of balls the way they talk to these royals. When they literally have dragons. I don't know that I buy this.
But they are gone.
What has come of this council?
My lord.
Thank
Oh,
you,
so the moment, oh hell no. So the moment a guy walks into the room, he shuts up. She needs to go up to him and smack him in the face.
Dead ass. No. Dude really chose the wrong side of this war if he thinks he has the right to talk.
Did we really need the blood on his lip? Like that is a spot where the first thing you would do is wipe it off. Like you could tell that was like the director or somebody was like, we're gonna put it on your lip and you're gonna leave it there. I guess.
Yeah, no, the weird thing is that it's like just there and a little bit on his forehead.
Right.
Like, yeah, I get it. Maybe it can happen, but the rest of his face looks so smooth.
It's
that
so
it
stupid.
Will not be made to look a fool in front of my allies and enemies.
That seems to be every episode what he says, right? Like, I don't wish to be made a fool. And yet you look like a fool. I think Aegon has more flair in his attire, like gold and green. Like he's more flashy.
I mean, yeah, flashy doesn't mean style, though. Just means flashy.
Well, I that's what I meant. I meant like he's got flair, you know?
Okay, yeah.
If you wanted to go for like the cool gothic, even though it's not gothic, you know, then yeah, amen.
He's totally a goth. Like
okay.
He's my head canon is that he's definitely a goth.
My problem with Aemond on the show is that I've seen more of his ass and balls than I've cared to see. than I see him in clothes. We seen him naked twice already. I don't want to see him naked ever again.
I found out, by the way, that it was his decision to do it.
Nah, that's bullshit. That was a conversation.
No,
he's lying.
He actually, I don't know if he's lying, but
he's lying.
I saw an interview and he said that they didn't want him to do a full frontal because it never happened. But he said that he wanted to do it for
lies.
his own career.
No, yeah, right. Because they told him to do it. That's how that works. Because, and I'll tell you why that's a lie. Because all of that bullshit is monetized. So there is no I want to show my balls on camera. That's for people like you to believe, but the fact of the matter is he got paid for showing his balls. So he got a bump or something, or it was in the contract. So it had to have been discussed way before he even knew it was going to happen. That was going to happen, because nothing actors do on camera isn't monetized. Everything they do, if they die on camera, that gets monetized, especially when they're on his level where he's a major supporting. He's got a contract, in fact, obviously. He's not like an extra where extras just get bumps. He's got it in his contract. Yeah. You are going to show your balls on this episode. We are going to pay you, $20,000 for that. Like, all of that stuff is monetized when you're on that level. So there's no fucking way that he just was like, no, I want to do this for my career. He got told, hey, we want you to show your balls. And he was like, okay, how much are you going to pay me? We're going to pay you this much money for you to show your balls on camera. Okay, I'm fine with that. More money. Yay. That's how it works.
But also what I heard is that when that happens, you can ask for it being a prosthetic or something else, right? But it wasn't.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it changes in that sense.
It does.
Monetarily.
It does. Totally.
Okay.
Totally,
okay.
It does. Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing with extras. Like, if the girl gets naked in the scene, like when we saw the orgy scene, those girls that you saw naked, they're getting paid for their intimacy bump. If they're not naked,
that I know.
Right? But if they're not naked, like if it's a prosthetic and they're covered by something, that's not naked anymore. That's you still might get a bump for the what you're doing, but you're not getting that same bump. So I don't agree. Now, is that an option? Of course, it's an option, but I don't think that's what they want. And all of these things, at the end of the day, and now this is my personal opinion, all of these things at the end of the day are a kind of humiliation ritual, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna make you show your balls. Because when you've seen it with comedians like Dave Chappelle. Okay, so Dave Chappelle has said it about Kevin Hart and about all these people, where it's like, we're gonna make you dress like a woman in this movie, and like, why? Why do it wasn't in the original script? Why are you putting that in the script now? Oh, because we think it would be funny. Well, I don't think it's funny, and it's a humiliation ritual. Like, we want you to dress as a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of guys that want to dress like women and whatever, but all of those things are monetized. So it's a discussion. So him saying that is completely part of the script of like, we think that was probably his PR team too. Like, we're like, we think it would be better if it came from you, that you said that you wanted to do that for your career, blah, 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 blah. So I don't buy that. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Just because it's monetized. All this stuff is monetized. Everything they do on stage. If they die, well, on scene, right, in camera. If they die, if they show something, everything is, all of that is, and it's per episode. They have contracts per episode. So all of that is discussed prior to. So it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't like oh, wow. And it wasn't like his decision at all. Plus, even if it had been his decision, let's say he did that. Let's say that was true. That still has to get approved by everybody, by the producer, the UPM. It has to get communicated with the writers and the director. I mean, it's not just an arbitrary thing. Because I remember something as stupid as a tie. Like, My sister dealt with that, like a tie that you wear in a suit, a tie.
Oh God. Okay.
My sister dealt with actors who were like, I don't want to wear that tie. I want to wear this tie. And they're like, no, you can't wear that tie because this is the tie that was decided by the designer, the producer, blah, blah, blah. And my sister would have to go to the producer and be like, he wants to wear this tie instead. Can we make it work? No, we can't make it work because there would be a whole argument. Even something as stupid as wearing a tie has to be approved by the producer, by the people that are in charge of the show, the showrunner. So for him to just be like, I'm going to show my penis, that's not how it works. Like they had to, that was already all discussed.
Maybe it was like, I think maybe what happened is that it wasn't the contract already that scene was going to happen, but they did give him, while it wasn't still in the talks, they did give him the option to get a prosthetic or not. And maybe, like you said, it was kind of pushed that he didn't get a prosthetic for help with his career, blah, 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 whatever.
Could be
and
that.
he accepted to do that.
It could be that I can maybe believe that they said if you feel uncomfortable, you know, you could do the prosthetic, and he's like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go balls out. Okay, that could have been it, you know. But my whole point is that
I think that's how it went.
my whole point is that it wasn't his decision to be like, I want to show my penis. That was like, you're gonna be naked in this scene. You will be naked.
Yeah.
We will all see you naked. The question really becomes, do we want to see you, do we want to see you naked on camera, like your balls, and how much is that going to cost us? That's really what it was. The discussion came down to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, interesting
Well,
fact. I didn't know that. Now, you know that this is him getting back at him for the thing in the whorehouse.
Yeah.
This is him getting.
Absolutely.
That's pretty new.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
yes.
good. I have to give it to Eamon. That was pretty slick, dude. That's why he's the better one.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
I like a
He's
little bit of
psychopathic, but he is it in a good way.
good job getting him. And I like I like how he's doing it in Valyrian too.
Yeah, so nobody else gets it. Which, by the way, Aegon doesn't really know Valyrian that well. Like, he can understand it, but he can't really speak it.
Of course, that would be classic
So-
Aegon.
Yeah.
Can I say that
Yeah.
this is the best Lannister I've the funniest Lannister that has ever been created. Like, this guy is just he's so funny.
I love him.
He's
Honestly,
so
the
funny.
problem with the Lannisters in Game of Thrones is that they're all Tywin's sons and daughter, so they take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, there's
So-
potential here. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but there's potential here for really good character development for Aegon. Because if it was me working Aegon, I'd be like, this is where Aegon needs to start learning the lessons so that he can get back. Because this is what really upsets him right now. This kind of thing, again, being made to look like a fool in front of everyone. That's the last thing Aegon
Yeah.
wants. So now he's gonna have to get smart if he wants to get back at his own brother, because for sure he's pissed right now at his own brother. Like, hold on, look at that look. Like, how dare you do this to me?
Yeah.
Because, Aegon, he's an idiot. He's harmless. Like, when he makes fun of his brother, he's like, like when he did at the whorehouse, I know, he's just being silly. You know what I mean? But he's not trying to be malicious. What his brother's doing right now to him, he takes slights too seriously. Like, Aemon is too serious. You know what I mean? Like, that's your brother.
Yeah.
He's a doofus. He's a moron. You should laugh it off. And you should tell him, like, don't do that shit to me anymore.
That's if they had, love for each other.
Right. So now this is a great opportunity for character development for Aegon, where he can start to really wisen up and stop being a doofus and realize, my own brother's doing this to me. I gotta figure out a way to get him back even better. I came for your
Yeah.
feet. Let me guess, did you drink that tea because you got pregnant by Cole? I know everything. Oh, go away,
Yeah,
Laris.
that's
Like, every scene between them is like, I know what you're doing.
yeah.
I know what you're doing. Like, by now, if I was her, I'd be like, just shut up and go away. I'm sick of your shit. I'm not going to show you my feet.
Yeah.
How funny would it be, though? Like, I would love if this would happen. If she eventually just gets fed up with that and she, like, stabs him to death. You know, like, she just loses it.
I hope that
Like,
happens.
right?
I don't know how Laris dies, but I hope that's how he dies.
I just hate how he always shows up to rub it in her face that he knows what she's doing, and he's never really there to help her. He's always there to impose.
I don't know if that's the case, but like he's insinuating that she's not been herself, and I'm sure that's not because of the cramps and the abortion. That's not the point, because he already knows that's the case. He's here to pry about why her approach changed. Because for some reason he doesn't have information about it.
The significance of Viserys' intentions died with him.
Oh, so she's a realist. I suddenly have more respect for her. It doesn't matter what Viserys wanted. It doesn't matter what I think. Matter of fact, I don't even care about what side, because the bottom line here is that there's going to be a war and people are going to die, and the winner wins. The winner takes all. So what's my voice, my opinion means nothing. You guys have snuffed me out of the discussions. Wow.
And they pursue their campaign without seeking
Okay, now is where I'm going to be like, Alicent, can you try to be a mother,
my aid
please?
or even my thoughts.
Yeah, no, she gotta be here.
Come on,
girl.
come on,
What
let's
would you
see.
have? You should humbly be seeking our opinions and counsel. You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
Okay.
I mean, she's not wrong, but I don't think it's the moment right now to be telling him all that.
Right. He just wants to feel supported, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Do simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
Ouch. Ouch? That's
super ouch.
That's a bit harsh, dude.
Alicent. Yikes.
Well, she's also frustrated. Like, it's not good when two frustrated people start trying to have heart-to-heart talks with each other, you know? Because you need somebody to listen,
true.
but they both want to be listened to.
Yeah. Exactly what you said. Like, ill-timed things
Right.
that escalate into bigger problems. It always seems to be going downhill and downhill, but all because of little misunderstandings.
I told you what I would. I think she should just give up the throne at this point, quite frankly. Even though even though it's wrong, like she's the one that does, she's the rightful heir. I would just give it up at this point because it's not worth everybody dying, honestly. But you know, it's never the judicious, or rarely the judicious people that get put in these positions. And also, I think the dynamic of they're doing a good job of showing the dynamic of the women surrounded by so many impudent men. It's really frustrating.
I feel like Rainey does see a little bit of herself in the sense of what she went through in Rhaenyra, so when she can't, that's why she's part of the council in the end, because otherwise she would just be an ally, right? But she's there because she's imbuing some of what she's known in Rhaenyra. No, even the face though. Look at the face.
It's like a crown.
It's so different.
It's like a crown
literally,
dragon. Nice.
It's a crown dragon. Like, it's definitely royal.
Good
vibe.
job. Good job, CG team. Good job.
Literally, yeah. Oh my god, that looks so cool.
He's like the Maserati of dragons, or the Ferrari.
Yeah. It's giving that. It's
Right?
It's really pretty.
Like, that's the dragon I want. Look at that model.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, wow. Why is everybody in charge old as fuck? It feels like America right now.
Yeah. senile, right?
Oh my god! It's like they're all fucking old and senile, man.
Oh, we hate
Oh
that.
my god, are they trying to say something? These recreations are always so much fun. They've got to be fun to like shoot, set up,
Oh yeah, for
participate in them. Like, we finally got our dragons, right?
Yeah, oh my god. No, we can't name it House of No Dragon anymore. Damn.
No, we can't. But oh, I love seeing.
Finally, though, yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's almost spiritual. Like the fire from the dragon. It doesn't feel like a weapon. It feels like a cleansing.
Right? That's what I was thinking as well. Oddly
Right?
enough.
It feels like
Yeah,
a
like-
cleansing by fire. Like just burn all the crap out.
Oh no. Fucking Vagar.
Vagar is so old that she like literally melts into the forest. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I love
She makes
that,
she makes the trees look like little ferns. Oh my! I forgot how huge she is.
And shielded this house with divine purpose.
Oh please! Oh please, Kristen! Please!
Not the religious aspect. Fuck you, dude. Yeah,
Okay, Sunfire does look very small next to Melis. That is a small.
yeah. I told you,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh no, Squatchy!
Oh, wow, no. Oh. I have not seen the actual fight, but I've read that for the fighting with amongst dragons, they've studied the how hawks fight among each other. So
Oh!
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that is. It makes sense too, because technically.
Yeah, like they're fighting with their talons, right? And so here they're fighting with their claws.
Yeah. Yeah, because supposedly birds are like the evolution of dinosaurs and... Oh, no.
Oh my god, that is the coolest entrance I've ever seen.
Could you imagine, like, being a person, like, if this was real? And you're having your stupid people on people war, and like not one, not two, but 3 dragons show up.
Yeah, no, I'm going back. I don't care. Fucking kill me, rather.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Look at that. What the
How does that
fuck?
even fly, dude? How does that even She's even got holes. She's got holes in her wings. It's amazing.
Literally. If I was a psychopath, this would be the perfect moment to... Oops. The king died.
Oh, you think it's
know?
more sinister than that?
Dracarys!
Oh, you were right.
Fuck. No, I didn't want to be right. No, not Sunfire.
He literally is like, I'm gonna burn both dragons.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. Melis got out of it.
Yeah, you know it's bad when I care more about the dragons than I do about the people. I will say though that if you were gonna go by, and I'll make it brief, but it is something to note, like if you were gonna go by the traditional, and the master on this was always been Tolkien, because he's the one that talked about dragons. You know, I mean, not that dragons have been around forever, but you know, as far as Western lore, everyone's, you know, kind of followed the lead of Tolkien. A real dragon wouldn't just do what a writer tells it to do. You know what I mean? A real dragon would have its own reasoning and would be like, why am I gonna go fight for you? You gotta convince me. You know, like, they're not horses. You don't just jump on them and just like, you know what I mean? So that part of this doesn't really, like, Tolkien would be like, no, you guys don't understand dragons, or tell Martin.
But when Lucerys died against Vhagar, apparently Vhagar did not answer to Aemond. Aemond did not want to kill Lucerys.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
but
agree that they should have used it more. Here it doesn't show it that much.
but I'm going beyond that. Tolkien gave dragons the capacity to reason, to think, to communicate. They were characters of their in and of themselves, not just sentient beings. You know what I mean? They could actually they make their own decisions and.
Oh, right. I just remembered Smog.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
remember the Smog arguing with Bilbo, and so
Yeah.
it's a completely different concept, and honestly, kind of a downgrade. The way that Martin envisions these dragons as just beings that you can ride, but it kind of goes with the lore of the Targaryens, so we can go with it. But this is where this is where I get a little dissociated, because it's like, for dragons to just fight them.
It's like horses, yeah.
Yeah, for dragons to just fight themselves without them having some other, like, it would be more engaging for me, coming from a Tolkien background, if they actually talked to the dragons and said, "This is why we're gonna fight, and this is why I need you to support me in this fight." You know what I mean? But but whatever.
I mean, maybe they do, but it would be cool for the dragons to answer back. I agree. I like it more when the dragons are actual characters.
So he would disagree with this depiction of dragons, because in his writing, dragons always were characters in and of themselves that could reason, that could talk, that were inherently evil, which that's not really what they're doing here, which is another thing, but were inherently creatures of a bigger scale, of a process of a world that's developing into a big conflict, which here it's the Night Walkers or whatever, but I do like that the dragons tend to have a kind of positive spiritual connotation in this. Nonetheless, I still think the fact that they don't speak and they don't reason and that they just do what the writers tell them is kind of it's a missed opportunity. But here we go. And but you're also right that they do show that they don't always, they're wild animals, I guess. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, exactly.
it's kind of like a cat, even though it's not the same thing, but like how cats are technically wild. They're not really, they're feral, even if they're
they're not tameable.
There you go.
You can coexist with them.
Right. I think that's what this is, what that illustrates. Okay, I think this is the end of Rhaenys. Godspeed. Godspeed, Rhaenys. You've been awesome. And Meleys too. Beautiful. She escaped, and he let her go.
Yeah, because that wasn't his objective. He took the opportunity and flew with it. I'm telling you, he wants the throne so bad. He wants to be the actual king so bad, I'm telling you.
And he didn't even care to go after her. He let her escape.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Look at that. That looks like one is lower down and one is higher up. But they're at the same level. It's just Vhagar is that fucking huge.
And Meleys made Sunfire look small, and Vhagar still makes Meleys look small. That's crazy. Oh! Oh my god, dude. Hey, you know what though? You know what? Like, for being half the size of Vhagar, Meleys is a beast.
I mean, she's fierce. She's going at it.
What? Crush! I saw that happen.
Wow.
You literally got stepped. How did you die? How did your dad die? Oh, he got stepped on by a dragon.
That's so funny, but it's not funny, but it's funny.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
Oh. Why are you going back, dude?
Oh no, are you serious?
What you going back for?
Well, it's that whole thing. It's that sacrifice. Like, she knew that when she told Rhaenyra, she knew that she had to do this, and that the hope is that she could end the war herself. You know what I mean? So she knows that if she can try to take down Vhagar, and now Sunfire already fell, like, she knows that that's it. It's over, you know? So she's like, better that it be me rather than Rhaenyra and her kids. And her own kids at this point. Her own grandkids at this point.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is, which is very, very honorable. That's why you don't mess with Vhagar. That's why you don't mess with her, huh?
Look at her eye.
I know.
Look at her eye. Oh.
I'm heartbroken. Heartbroken. That's it.
Vhagar.
Yeah, like you said, she purposely didn't fly, and then she kind of hid, and then swooped up at the last moment when they didn't even see her coming.
Which is crazy, because Vhagar is fucking huge. How do you not see her coming?
Because she was hiding behind this huge fortress.
No. I know. I just mean she is that big and she is still capable of stealth. And it's absolutely because she's so fucking old and knows her shit. But, oh my god, Vhagar.
I would like to remind you that this is all Kristen's fault, by the way.
Literally. I have no redeeming qualities left for him.
This was all his idea. He's the one that
nothing.
brought this on. You flew too close to the sun, Icarus. I saw that coming. Yep, that's what happens with dragons. It's like nuclear fallout.
See? Look at that asshole. He was there with a sword drawn.
Yeah, he is.
And he stopped it dead in his tracks when he heard Kristen Cole.
Wow. We're really seeing a dark side of all of this coming out, man. Okay. No, he looks dead, but I believe that he does survive this. He just ends up crippled and can't ride.
Cole, what you gonna do now that your plan crippled your king who you're supposed to defend? It's on you, fucker. You did that.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
I like this episode though. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was invigorating. We lost we lost 2 dragons, so that's sad. And honestly, I care more about the dragons.
Yeah, I do too. No, I mean, I'm sorry for Aegon, but honestly, I saw it coming kind of. Aegon was always like a dead end. Like there was nothing else to him.
Don't drink and drive. We just learned something.
And don't fuck up with your homicidal siblings also.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, what are you doing?